Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Carolyn McGee. I am an intuitive life coach, a Reiki master teacher, and intuitive healer. I am here every Wednesday at noon Eastern to support you, to help you enhance your intuition, to connect deeper and trust that divine intelligence and information that is always available to us, and to then manifest your best life and abundance. You can find me at carolynmcgee.com or on Facebook as Carolyn McGee. I look forward to connecting with you. We have a number of questions that have been submitted in ahead of time, and I am just going to pull up the Q&A screen in case somebody is out there that wants to join us and ask a question. As always, I like to start with an opening blessing to set the intention and pull in our divine support team. I did forget to mention the date, so I will do that now. Today is Wednesday, February 24th, 2016. So if it is safe for you to do so, please just take a moment and kind of loosen up your shoulders. Let go of all of that stuff that's up in your head, all of that to-do list. Just put it aside and allow yourself to take the next 45 minutes to an hour to really focus on you, to focus on what your needs are and how you can tap in deeper to the intuitive, angelic, divine guidance that is available for you. And I will be giving you some examples of that as I channel some answers to questions that have been submitted. So for right now, just relax your shoulders a little bit. Put your feet on the ground if possible and close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes too to kind of tap into the collective power we have here. And take in, we're going to do 7 breaths this time. 7 breaths, 1 for each chakra. Now, you don't need to directly imagine each chakra, but the number 7 resonates with the 7 main chakras in our body, in our energetic system. And just by doing that, you will open up the energy and allow more flow into that area. It's not necessarily going to balance them, but it will open up flow and energy. So let's just go together. Here's 1. 2, opening up the sacral. 3, bringing energy into your solar plexus. 4, opening up the energy in your heart. 5, opening up your throat. 6, opening and energizing your third eye. 7, opening your crown and bringing in more energy for a deep connection. Now, as I mentioned, you don't need to consciously think of those energy centers as you do this, but anytime you feel yourself being out of your body, not being fully present, taking those 7 deep breaths will deeply and subconsciously connect you and open up those energy centers. I do want to be clear that it's not necessarily going to remove any blocks. That's not the intention of that particular exercise. What it is to just bring more energy in there, to open them up so that it can flow in the manner that you are, energetically aligned with at the time. But it will help bring you back into your body so you can be more present and be more aware of what's going on. So hopefully that was beneficial, and it's a little tip that you can take and do anytime. It's really simple. You can do it driving, you can do it anytime that you just need to feel a little bit more present and pull some energy back into your body. It really will make a difference for you. Great, so I am just going to check. Okay, we have no new questions, but I do have a number of fabulous questions that were submitted ahead of time that we are going to start with. Okay. So the first question comes from Denise, and I'm just going to read it so you can see me looking off to the side a little bit here. I want to learn more money and have skills to do so, but it feels disloyal to earn more than my father did. Somehow I feel like I'm betraying him. I struggle because I know that there's more that I could do or be, but I have this inner conflict. What steps can I take, and what shifts in perspective would help with me? Okay, that is a great question, and it is it's a dynamic that many healers struggle with. There's this, oftentimes in past lives, we have been those of service, we have been nuns, we have been priests, we have been the village healer who traded for services. It was all part of the communal aspect and community. And as such, we were not recognized or honored or expected to have money. There was a vow of poverty that a lot of us took in those lifetimes, and we do carry those forward. So there's that piece of it. There is also a piece of, like as you mentioned, disloyalty to the family. I can't be bigger than, who am I to? But what I invite you to think about is, who are you not to? You have a gift, you have a talent, and the times and the energy actually demand that we step out and we be seen, and that we be honored. Everything that we have to offer, and by the we, it's the grand, all of us who are healers of some variety, whether you are a massage therapist, whether you're a Reiki master, if you're an intuitive healer, if you do angel work, if you do tapping, working with essential oils, anybody who is of service, it's time to be recognized and to be honored and to be compensated. If you think about it, and I've said this before, and I'm sure that everybody has heard it, money is energy. And in order to sustain the flow of energy, it is in everyone's highest good for energy to be exchanged, for money to be exchanged. It is actually helping the energy of the world to go up and increase when we help this flow, when we don't block this flow. If you imagine yourself as a sponge, and you are, maybe blocking sending out things, you're just getting bigger and bigger because you're giving and giving, but you're not putting anything out. You're not allowing anything to be squeezed out from you. You're blocking flow. So if you can allow yourself to allow that energy to go through you, it will go to somebody else. It will help them, and then it will circle its way back to you. It does not need to be balanced. It doesn't have to be like to like, but it does need to be. That's kind of what I'm getting with that. And I'm actually going to pull a card to see if there is something to be added to my immediate download here. The cards that I'm pulling from are from the Gaia deck. And let's see what additional information pops in. Okay. Look at that. Achievement. And if you notice this card too, it's balanced with the colors. It starts out in the center with a light, and then there's like a reddish color, and then it kind of moves into orange and yellow, into the greens, and then indigos and purples as you go around the outside. So it's really a blossoming or a opening of the energy system. It resonates with the rainbow. It resonates with our, the 7 main chakras that we were talking about earlier, but it's also a blossoming and an opening. And if you notice the word achievement can be something very tangible, or it can be something as mundane as opening yourself up to a new way of doing things. It's not necessarily a degree. It can be accomplishing a goal. It can be changing a mindset. And that's really what it feels like for me this time, that there is a shift coming in in the awareness of every place, you know, honoring what is valuable. And it's for all services. You know, it's for teachers, it's for everybody who really has something of value that has been underrated in the past or expected to be given rather than compensated. So as we shift, you know, we're the forward thought leaders. We are the ones that are leading this charge to honor the gifts that we have and break those old vows, not only the family vows, but the vows from centuries ago, that there is, that we are no longer going to block that flow, that it's really critically important for everyone, not just us to be thriving and vibrant, but also for the energy around us to keep that flow moving. Really, really important to not block that energy. And as I mentioned before, money is just energy. That's all it is. So when you are not allowing money to come to you, you are blocking that energy flow. So I hope that was beneficial for you. Actually, I'm hearing one more card specifically about the vow with your dad. Okay, so here we go. Tree of Life. Now, look at the flowering and blossoming that's around it. There's so much abundance in there. And one of the other things to remember about money is that it's unlimited. You know, your dad can make as much money as he chooses to, and so can you. It really is a choice for you to open up to possibilities and open up to such a variety of ways of interacting, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the same for every situation. So you may choose to have one rate for one person and another rate for somebody else. You may standardize, and it's all great as long as there is that energy flow. And I'm not even going to say exchange, it's a flow, so that there needs to be something moving constantly, because that will feed you also, and it feeds the other person. There is a value that is not associated. Okay, hold on one second. I need to reframe my thought here. When things are given away or given at low value, there's a perception that it's not valuable. So the advice or the information is not taken as seriously. And here's an example from my own past. When I was going through my angelic life coach training, I started out doing my sessions, my practice sessions, for free. And I realized that the people that I was helping, they were getting great advice. They were getting fabulous information, you know, from the angels. The messages that were coming through were really clear and very strong, but they weren't following through on them. They weren't taking them seriously. And I started charging $10, which is crazy, but I felt like I'm just getting started. I can't do anything more than that. But even that really small amount of money made a difference. The same people started following through because they had an investment. It's so important for that energetic exchange and that value for people to really invest their own energy in making a shift. And that's what it's really all about. You know, whether it's body work or emotional work, it's an investment in their health, in their vitality, and in their own energy. So it's really, really important. So would love to hear feedback on how that resonates with you and how it goes when you start changing your rates. It feels like it's really going to open up a lot for you. So I'm really looking forward to hearing back from you about that. So I have, let me just check. Nope, kind of quiet out into in space there. Oops. Little sounds coming in here from my computer. Maybe there's people out there that are just shy, so that's okay. Love to hear from you if you're out there, and if not, there is this really amazing thing called borrowed benefits. I think I mentioned last week that somebody had heard the tapping related to a question about an elbow, and somebody was having, you know, stiffness in their elbow, and they did that tapping, and it brought up a whole lot of stuff for them about resistance and change that they weren't having any physical manifestations of, but it was perfect tapping and perfect energy work for them. So don't be afraid to ask questions, because it's going to benefit somebody else out there. And speaking of benefits here, we seem to be having a theme with what's going on. Like a couple weeks ago, there was the elbow, and this week we actually have somebody who's got knee pain, and then there's somebody who's having problems with their ankles. So I am going to go into each one separately, and then we're going to do some tapping on freedom and joints and movement. So that's what we are going to do. And I actually looked up Louise Hay, because she is one of my all-time favorites on joints, because like I said, we had the elbow, and then now we've got a knee, and now we've got an ankle. And joints represent changes in direction in life and ease of movement. So the new thought pattern that she suggests is, I easily flow with change. My life is divinely guided, and I am always going in the best direction. So there is that. Knees also have to do with moving forward and flexibility. So as I mentioned, I think we're going to do some tapping around that and the ankles too. So another piece before we get into the tapping on, which is going to encompass all of this energy in the joints. There are some essential oil protocols that you can use to help with different parts of your body. There are things, if you're dealing with joints, you want to use things that are warming and opening, but you do want to be really careful to not overuse them. So things like wintergreen, it's a bone stimulant, so there's energy in there that if it's something that's in the joint bone itself, can help open up. It's also very anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic. Lemongrass is another essential oil that is really, really good for anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic. It's also a sedative, so that it can help soothe the pain and kind of help just open that up. Peppermint oil is invigorating. You know, you always smell peppermint tea, and it just kind of opens up everything. It's also great for anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic. So those are oils that you can use. And then lavender is also anti-inflammatory. It's a regenerative oil, and it is a sedative oil, so it can calm things down. You can use these. I do suggest that until you really understand your body, use them in a blend. Don't use them, they call it neat, when you put it directly on your skin. You know, put a few drops of, I like to use fractionated coconut oil, or you could use, you know, high grade organic olive oil, or whatever types of oil, you know, grapeseed oil, apricot oil. You want to use what really resonates for you and perhaps what you've got on hand. You don't need to go out and get something specifically for this. But I like to put a few drops of the oil in my hand, and then add in a couple of drops of whatever oils feel like they most resonate with you. And if you've got something specific that you would like some advice on, I'm happy to help you with that. You can reach me at carolyn@carolynmcgee.com, or you can post something on my Facebook page, which is Carolyn McGee Intuitive Coach. And I'm happy to give you some suggestions. You always should follow your own intuition and your own guidance on what's best for you, though. But as I said, I'm happy to give some suggestions for that. One of the things with the oils is you do want to make sure that you understand how they're going to work with your body. The same person that had the challenge with the elbow reached out to me and did use some essential oil protocols that worked fabulously, but did not use the coconut oil, and then ended up with some hives, which is also an indicator that, you know, something getting under your skin, making mountains out of molehills, that kind of thing. So there's still some energetic work going on with that individual that is manifesting through her body. So you do want to be aware of not creating another layer of things. Although, as my teacher always says, it's all good, because eventually you're going to release what's holding you back and let that energy flow through you as your awareness becomes more and more acute. So what I would like to do for our tapping is I am going to use some lavender oil. Got it right here. I do prefer and recommend the doTERRA blends, but everybody needs to use what resonates with them. I do suggest or recommend that no matter what essential oils you use, make sure that they are therapeutic, high-grade oils that are medical grade. That way you will be receiving the therapeutic benefits, and it's actually going to shift your energy system. So enough on that. What I like to do when I tap sometimes is just take a drop of the oil and put it on my fingertips. And it just opens up and shifts things for me as I'm tapping. So if you've got oils that feel like they're right for you and you want to join me, go ahead and grab them real quick. I'm going to, smells so good. Very relaxing. And then we're just going to tap. We are going to tap for resistance to change and anything that is manifesting itself through our joints, whether it's your shoulder, elbows, knees, hips, ankles. Let's see what the angels are going to pull through for us to just help open up that energy, that flow, and allow us to be more present. And I'm hearing free. So interesting. All right. So if you're just joining us in this version of things, I like to dive right into the tapping. Some people do setups, but I like to just start. So the tapping points again, right here between the eyes, on your temples, underneath your eyes, under your nose, chin, right here underneath your collarbone. I'm not going to do this every single time, but so you can see underneath your arm here and here. And then we're going to end up on the top of the head, okay? All right, let's kind of wiggle our body a little bit, get a little bit more feeling like we're present. All of my joints hurt. It's really uncomfortable. I can feel the resistance. Sometimes it even shifts from place to place in my body. It's very uncomfortable. It's also very annoying. I hate the pain. I know it's related to resistance, but I don't know what I'm resisting. I can't feel it yet. It's buried deep inside me. Why is it so difficult? Why is change so hard for me? I don't even like my body right now. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like not being supported. And I feel like my body is failing me. I'm so incredibly frustrated. How did this happen? What did I do to deserve this? Okay, now I can feel the anger rising. It's starting down low in my body and moving up through my belly. I may even be feeling a little nauseous. And now my throat's starting to close down because I don't want to speak what's true. I'm not happy. I guess I can try to be grateful that my body is giving me these indicators, but I'm actually really pissed off. I thought I worked through this shit. And now my joints are aching again. It's so uncomfortable. Why can't I just be fluid? Why can't I just move with ease and grace? Why does it have to be so difficult? I really don't understand. Okay, right now I'd like you to stop for a minute and just notice in your body where you are really feeling the pain. Is it what part of your body? And where in your physical area, if you're still feeling that resistance, if you're still feeling the nauseousness or anxiety or anything, just kind of note where in your physical body that is, and see if it correlates to where you're having the joint issues. For example, the person who is having the elbow issues may be feeling some anxiety or stress or discomfort in the solar plexus area. Now, those are all related. If you notice, your elbow is at the same level. So it's all part of that energy that is stuck in there. So there's going to be something associated with empowerment and stepping out and setting boundaries and making changes that are for your highest good that may be really uncomfortable for you. So there's an example. For the person, for Shauna, who asked about the ankles. Okay, the ankles are going to be, related to moving forward, to foundational things, to being really secure, to having balance, and of course related to the root chakra. So feel in your body where you are holding that and see if you can release it as we go through the next round of tapping. With the knee, same thing. It's flexibility, it's stability, it's moving forward. The ability to freely move your legs and take that step forward. It could be hips also. Sometimes they're associated with freely moving forward because they're very foundational for us in our forward movement. So notice in your body where you are seeing that. If you are having problems with your shoulders, depending on where in your shoulder, it may be related to your heart chakra. It may be related to your throat chakra. So kind of notice where your resistance is and just be aware of it. There's no judgment here. It's all about awareness because it's information. Your body is so brilliant at giving you indicators of where that you're out of balance so that you can go in and then work on those things and become more balanced. It's yes, it's annoying if you're in pain, absolutely, but use it as a tool, use it as information, and then try and dig down a little bit deeper to understand and release it. Okay, so we are going to Love that lavender. And jump right back in and do a little bit more tapping and see where it takes us now. I feel this pain in my joints. And I know the part of my body that needs attention. It is desperately crying out. It's looking for love. It's giving me so much information. I do love my body. I love how it nurtures me. I love how it supports me. I love how it brilliantly guides me and provides feedback on everything that I need to know. I love and honor my body. I love and honor my body for where it is at this exact moment. I love and honor my body for the information it provides me. I love and honor my body for the energy and the movement. I am now aware of areas that I'm blocking movement. I am now aware of areas that I am resistant to change. I am now aware of areas in my body that need additional love. I am now aware of those pieces and parts of my body that are screaming for my attention. I am now aware of those areas of my body that have been desperately trying to get my attention, sometimes for years. I honor my body enough to pay attention. I honor my body enough to listen. Starting in this moment, I will listen to my body. I will take my body's advice. I will ask my body for guidance. And then I will follow through. I will follow through on what my body tells me to do. Whether it's a pain in my elbow, a stiffness in my knee, tightness in my ankle, or anxiety in my belly. I will listen and pay attention to where these signals are and open myself up to healing them. There is no more resistance. There is no more resistance. I feel the energy moving freely throughout my body. I feel happy and healthy. I feel fluid. I feel energized. I allow all energy to flow completely, effortlessly, and clearly through my body. Any place where there was resistance is starting to open. And I honor my body for the love and attention that it's been drawing to areas that I was blocking my own growth. Okay. So I'm just going to continue to tap here to move through some of that last little residual resistance. You can tap along with me if it feels right for you, or if you just kind of need to shake it out. You may even want to stand up and move around a little bit, kind of shaking out the areas that are a little bit stuck, you know, that maybe you've been having kind of frozen is the information, the visual that I'm getting. So maybe it's been a little bit stuck. One of the things that you can do to kind of open up that area after you've done this tapping, you may even want to go back and just do the tapping again to kind of help move it through. Oftentimes it's in layers, so it's going to release a little bit, and then a day later you can do the tapping again and release it a little bit more, kind of like an onion. You take the first layer of the resistance and information off, and then you can go back and you can do the other one. The essential oil protocols are really amazing. They work fabulously to help the energy of that particular area heal. And as that area opens up and expands, then you are able to then feel what the blocked energy is in there. And then you can process it. You can tap, you can journal, you can release it. Another thing that is really, really beneficial to help clear out stuck energy. In the very beginning, you remember that we just did the breathing to open up the energy flow for the chakras. If you want to clear away debris in your chakras, you can use complementary colors. So for example, if you are talking about something that was in your shoulders, up, you know, high up in here, upper back, something that would be associated with your throat chakra. So it's closed down or feels tense, or whatever the symptom is that your body's giving you. The complementary color to blue, which is the area, the color of the throat chakra, is orange. So you can bring orange energy in, wear an orange scarf, you know, visualize orange going in there, eat an orange. Have something that's going to bring in that energy into your body and help open up that whole area to allow the energy to flow more. So that's just an example. And for people that aren't familiar with complementary colors, it's if you start like at the root, so it's red and green, and then it's going to be orange and blue and yellow and purple. And they work both directions so that you can bring, like I mentioned before, you can bring the orange into the blue, or you can bring the blue into the orange. And again, if you've got more questions, please do reach out to me. Put something on Facebook, type something in on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'm happy to give you advice back or give you suggestions. The angels will give you the advice. Or email me, carolyn@carolynmcgee.com. Reach out to me on Facebook. Love to meet new friends and have new friends. So happy to connect in many, many different ways. And you can also just check me out on my website, which is carolynmcgee.com. So I hope that that was beneficial for everyone. I am feeling guided to pull a card in closing for us all. And let's see what comes forward to kind of round out our time together. Let me just check and make sure we don't have no new questions. Okay, so I'm moving on to the Saints and Angels decks, which I know I say this all the time, but it's true. It's one of my favorite decks. Love, love, love the energy in it. It is just so healing for me, and that's kind of what it's all about, right? St. Francis of Assisi. And if you notice how he is a magnet, and you know, in this particular case, the energy is coming in with the animals, the doves that are coming in, the wolf or dog that is sitting with him. And that's the way an open body is. If you are open and the energy is flowing through you, you can manifest anything. You become a magnet for the things that you are looking for, what you're trying to draw in, whether you're trying to draw in abundance, whether you're trying to draw in relationship, anything. It's just so much simpler and easier to manifest what you're looking for. And when you become that magnet, that's really what you are. You're manifesting, you're drawing in the things that are important to you. So I invite you to do the tapping a couple of different times, whether you have physical things like elbows or shoulders or throats, whatever it is. If you have the physical things, that's great. Even if you don't, if you have some kind of resistance to change or fear about something, that can also help. As I mentioned, there's always those borrowed benefits, and it's most likely will lead someplace for you to help you open up your own energy. And that's what it's all about, my friends. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be back here next Wednesday, and I'm happy to be of service. Until then, mwah.